about the last tournament I went to, Hoosier Storm, formerly Indy Storm, but Hoosier Storm now. Uh, so, first of all, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Anytime you play Kings of War, I tell people this all the time, or any of these games, getting to hang out with adults and talk about stuff and chit chat and just generally have fun and do things is awesome. I love my students. I love my children. Um, that being said, there are just times I need to talk to some other adults, and it is fantastic to go and hang out with people and do that. So, the dinner at McAllister's, once again, my favorite part of the tournament. Um, hanging out beforehand, hanging out afterhand, talking, doing stuff, and seeing some friends I haven't seen in a while. Always awesome. So that, as always, Kings of War, the social aspect of the game, so much fun. The tournament itself, again, fantastic, a lot of fun. We were out at the Boone County Fairgrounds up in Lebanon, Indiana, and it's pretty cool. It's perfect for our uses. Big, empty, lots of tables, lots of chairs, and not much else. They kind of, first time we contacted them about it, I was like, well, we don't know. It's all we got are tables and chairs. And we're like, yeah, perfect. And a good price. So fairly cheap and all that. Mike Carter did all the arrangements. And again, huge shout out to Mike. Thanks, Mike. Fantastic and fun as always. So the tournament itself, 5 rounds, 2,300 points, and the special kind of theme was, of course, Hoosier Storm. So everybody got a Storm Elemental, which rotated between basically like a Wind Elemental, a Rain Elemental, and I believe it was a Thunder Elemental with different aspects. One had Cloak of Death, one had Radiance of Life, one had Cloak of Death, Radiance of Life. Lightning Bolt, always important. So Icy Breath, Radiance of Life, Wind Blast, and Aura Wild Charge. And then Lightning Bolt and Cloak of Death. Again, very important for all that. I love that particular rule it's a good solid here. I'll hold up the sheet here. It's a good unit. It's not bad at all. Not, it's good. 9 attacks, hitting on 4, so not broken. Speed 6, okay, but not nimble, not flying. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good solid unit. I like having those little additions like that, as it doesn't change the game much. It's an extra piece, but it's not actually changing how I play or how my opponents play, and I like that. So many of these tournaments you go to, it's got some special character, and it's either wordless or way overpowered, one of the two. And I think this kind of puts it in the right spot where, yeah, it's good. You want to use it, but it's not going to change the game single-handedly. So kind of perfect on that. So let's talk some results, at least on my end. So round 1, I got to play John Dorney. Fantastic. I'll try and get some video or some pictures of some of the games up here. Absolutely fantastic. Love talking to him. Great sport. Fantastic person. We had some great conversations, back and forth, all that kind of stuff. No big deal with, how everything went. He had a wonderful Empire of Dust army. Really enjoyed that particular look. Kind of an old school fantasy look. And again, it's fun. I enjoy that. It was different. I'm going to go with the word different here. So I've got his list somewhere. Yes, at the very bottom, because that's the first one. All right, so his list. That's not right. Yeah, that's right. All right. So 2 skeleton crossbow regiments, 2 revenant regiments, 2 enslaved guardians with blade of slashing, mace of crushing, a monolith, a revenant champion with the scythe of the harvester, crown of the wizard king, and 3 Amorite pharaohs on royal chariots. Okay, interesting. And then the idol of Shobek. And I have to say, this is one of those lists, when I looked at it, I went, I just don't think this is a good army. Like, I don't think this is a good list. I couldn't figure out. I mean, the pharaohs on royal chariots, those are good. Cursed high priest, that's good. Everything in the list is good. Of course, idol of Shobek is really nice, but there wasn't anything I looked at and went, oh, well, that's just crazy. It was a very good list. He goes on and beats Steve Malone round 2. Again, very good list. Sneaking amount of shooting, so sneakily good. And then, kind of a sneaky amount of close combat power when you throw in the Revenant chariots with the other stuff. It was a super close game. We were playing Dominate, and back and forth, back and forth. I got an unfortunate double one, which is a theme for this tournament. Kind of equaled out, though, because he did too. So, it was pretty equal. I got him by 1. I think it was like 10. I had 10 unit strength in the dominate circle. He had 9. So, close, really, really close. I believe he got a couple extra scenario points. So while I got the W, it was a small win as this particular tournament goes. So, but hey, it was fun. As I always say, the important thing after playing King's War Game is, would I play that person again? And the answer is most certainly, no questions asked. Yes, definitely. They said, Matt, you got to play John again. I'll be like, you cool. All right. What do we have for a list? Yes, I do. All right. Next up is my old nemesis, Kara Brown. Love you, Kara. Kara and I have played a lot. Great person. Great player. I mean, she's awesome. Let's see here. Riftforge Orcs. Okay. 2 legion or hordes of legionary heavy infantry. Crushing 1, Iron Resolve. On one of them with the Aegis, Sir Jesse's boots. A Reborn Legion troop. Riftwalker heavy infantry troop. Hellstriker large cav horde with the Chalice of Wrath. A Orkling Swarm, just to get in the way. Storm Slayer Monster. Storm Titan. Stormforge Shrine. Stormbringer Hero. Thonar, Hero on Cav. And then the Stormbringer on a Winged Slasher. This is one of those classic Hammer and Anvil lists. She's got her anvils in the Reforged Legionnaires. They're tough. I mean, 21, 23... they're tough. And Crush 1, I mean, hitting on 3s, they're going to delete things. So this was definitely a challenge. I made a slight mistake in turn 1. I thought I had hidden both of my units behind a building and she wouldn't be able to see them, but she could just barely see one of my units with her Stormbringer on Winged Slasher. Actually, it was turn 2, excuse me. And not only that, because of the way the placement was, she could just barely see the front corner, but the charge was actually in the flank. And she had just barely enough space to get in there, too. So one of those, if I would have just moved it over just a fraction of an inch right, no problem. I had plenty of movement. I could have done that. Just missed it. To counter that, though, Kara made a huge mistake. At least I think it was a mistake. She moved one of her hordes of legionnaires up, and apparently I'm pretty sure she didn't measure. I had a regiment of tortured souls that could flank it. Okay, well, that's not a very good charge. But when you throw 2 Cranaeuses in, along with the Despoiler Champion and that, yeah, that's enough to knock out a 21-23. No problem. And then I threw in the Seductress into the Flyer with the idea, smack him for a turn, hold on. I had a unit of Molochs step up into the woods, ready to go. Okay, so she was going to smack him. Pretty. There's a chance it doesn't go, but yeah, it's a pretty. I had about. I think I did the math hammer, or the math thing with the app. I had like a 70% chance of doing a wound, and I failed. And then to really complicate things, I believe it was 25 or 26 wounds on that horde and double won it. Shooting her, what was that one? The Storm Slayer monster, the Storm Slayer monster. Shot it up, had it to, I'm trying to remember here, dash 14. So I had it to 10 wounds, I think, or 11 wounds, somewhere like that, and double won it. I'm going to be honest. The rest of the game, I don't really remember too much because it was a travesty of my dice rolling. 5 double ones. Like, not, oh, well, I need a 10. I got a double one. No. 5 legitimate double ones. I mean, she flanked everybody and wiped out the Corneases, wiped out the Despoiler Champion, came up and because, yeah, anyway. Long and short of it is, I had about 3 units left at the end of the game. Crazily enough, and this is why I'm kind of to the point, I really like my list. It was still in doubt in turn 4. Like, I still had a shot. Had I not have rolled 3 more double ones, who knows? It is Kara, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She wasn't going to totally screw up and let me win, but just in case. So that hurt massively. And yeah, it was pretty bad. And then my consolation prize for that was I got to then go play Paul Cravo, which, Paul, if I mispronounce your last name, apologies. Again, super awesome dude. Talked to him at a bunch of tournaments. He runs Sylvankin, or those dirty elves. He kind of goes against the grain in our region. We don't have typically massive amounts of shooting, and he's not quite all shooting, but there's a lot of shooting. Again, great guy. He missed two total nerve checks the entire game. And I think everything, maybe one of them wasn't, but all but 1 or 2 maybe. All of them were within leadership and inspiring and all that, and it didn't matter. Combination of 2 things. So, first of all, really good luck. He was rolling, I mean, just crazy good. And there's, yeah, it happens. And then the second thing, and again, I want to make sure I give him credit because, oh, my dice were terrible. Okay, that was the second thing. My dice continued on their thing. I think I got 3 more double ones in that game. I could be wrong on it. It was 2 or 3. So for the tournament, I think at this point I'm 6, 8, 9. I'm at 10 at this point, if that tells you anything. So needless to say, the third point, though, I really want to make sure everyone knows, Paul did a fantastic job of picking the right targets. He knew what to shoot. He knew which, when he deployed, he put his stuff where it needed to be. And he did a fantastic job with that. It was going to be a rough battle for me one way or the other. And then when you throw those dice on top of it, yeah, yuck. So, yeah, I got tabled. I got tabled at the bottom of 5. So, so that was my day 1, and kind of the thing I got to go with that. And it's something I've learned a long time ago, and I'm really trying to put into practice. There's nothing you can do. I know that sounds, look, dice are going to do what dice do. Sometimes you're going to be stupid lucky. My last tournament, I got stupid lucky and won the tournament. And then this time it was the opposite. It was stupid unlucky. Nothing you can do about it. You just smile and you keep going and you be, whatever. You don't throw dice. You don't get mad or surly. You just say, hey, you know what? Stuff happens. I find life is easier if you just kind of learn to deal with stuff. Because, again, stuff happens. All right. So that was day one. Day two, we came back the next morning. I performed a weird ritual on my dice with the hope that it wouldn't go terrible. And yeah, I got to play my buddy, John Blakemore. Man, I was so excited to see that I was getting to play him. John and I met 6 years ago at Gen Con. I think it was his first tournament, quite frankly. He and Jack came up and were doing stuff. And, I remember little old Jack, who's now like huge. Anyway, but super excited to play him. He brought his free dwarves, so a couple regiments of rangers, a couple of earth elementals, some Brocks, greater earth elemental, because you got to have Brocks and Rocks. Stone priest, Barnick, Colarm, Sergei Igo, I don't know how to pronounce any of this. Anyway, and then Dwarf Lord on a large beast. For this one, we were objectives, so get within 3 inches of an objective. It was a pretty tight, pretty close game. I'll be honest, Earth Elementals don't scare my list as bad because I've got stuff that can deal with defense 6. The Cloak of Death will and the Chroneuses will hit them. And then, Crush 2. Yeah, you need 4s, but 4s with Vicious, hitting on 3s. Yeah, you can shoot through them in 2 turns. That's pretty normal. You can throw something else in and go from there. I had some good rolls. I had some bad rolls. I had one unlucky double 1, but it wasn't earth-shattering like the day before. And I would say John kind of the same thing. He had some good, he had some bad. It was fairly close, and I was able to, at the bottom of 6, pull out the victory. Now, I do need to mention, I guess, real fast, according to the rule book, Kings of War, the big red rule book, if you are doing timed games, you don't have a turn 7. And that's how this tournament was played, which was interesting. Usually you have to wonder if you're going to have a turn 7 or not, and you got to plan for that. This one, again, when he was done with his turn 6, it was like, all right, here we go. And we just threw everything in. Don't know if I like it. Don't know if I hate it. I know several players had opinions one way or the other. I was kind of in the middle, like, yeah, okay. Got John. It was one of those games where I beat him, I think 3-1, but it wasn't 3-1. It was close to the very end. I flub a roll. It's a tie. He gets a better roll, or a turn earlier. He wins. Very easily could have gone his way. So now I'm sitting 2-2. Okay, not bad. And I get to play the next person that's 2-2. And if anybody's been to a tournament where I play, you probably know who I'm going to play last, because that's who I tend to always play last. My rival, both painting and on the tabletop, Grace Patterson. You're awesome, Grace. All right. Hey, Grace, again, if you ever play Grace, she's fun. She's awesome. Everyone loves Grace. If you don't, you got a problem. And she's got, her army is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous army. So pretty. So pretty. Yeah, so she's running Night Stalkers, but it's an underwater, like, Night Stalker. Lots, again, very colorful, wonderful stuff. 2 Legions of Bloodworms, one with Brew of Strength and one with Brew of Sharpness. That's 40 attacks, by the way, if you're counting. Hitting on 3s with the Sharpness. And, yeah, with Crush 1 on the other one. They're nasty. Those are nasty. You got to be careful of those. They're expensive, but they're nasty. 3 troops of phantoms, so speed 10 fly. 2 butcher hordes, so yeah, fun with that. Crush 2 and 18, yeah. Soul flayers, 2 regiments of those. A planar apparition, portal of despair, and a horror, as well as the wailing shadow hero in Shira or something. I don't know. Good stuff. So this was invade. That is where I got to get more unit strength across the board than she gets across my board. I knew, so I had 26 unit strength. She had 25. So I had a slight advantage knowing that if we started exchanging pieces, I had just not much, but just one more. So, if I could do a few things here or there, I'd be in good shape. She spread out kind of across the table, which, quite frankly, I thought was a pretty good idea. I castled up. I put everybody. I wanted one flank, so she's got so much flying and so much speed. I can't. It's hard to deal with that. So my goal, find a spot, which I did. I could put all my guys. We could rush up, and we could have a flank mostly protected for a couple of turns. I ran everybody as fast as they could, straight, went up, and this is where I don't know. I don't know what she could have done different or how she could have countered that. She ran all of her fast stuff up and started sweeping them around, which again is exactly what she should do. She moved her bloodly worms up. She turned one and started moving it over with the idea of supporting, and then hopefully crashing in and killing a bunch of stuff. Long and short of it is, we went 4 turns, I think, before anybody charged or did anything. And then when I finally charged some of her units, I charged my two Soul Reaver, Tortured Soul regiments, and I of course charged in the Seductress because she doesn't have any unit strength. The whole point of that was not actually to kill any. I was not trying to kill a single one of her models at that point. She had the 2 butcher hordes, the planar apparition, and most importantly, that unit strength 4 bloodworm legion on the wrong side of the table. If she gets all that across, it's pretty questionable. I moved again. I had pretty much my whole army over there with 2 tortured souls and a Moloch horde. Those weren't, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unit strength. But again, she had 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then she had another unit that wasn't there. So 13, 14. So yeah, she had quite a bit that was on the wrong side. That enabled me, basically those charges were designed to get in the way, and quite frankly, she ran out of time. If she turned 7, she's got a good shot at getting everything across. But the way it ended up, I had the units right where they needed to be so that she couldn't move across. And I don't know. I feel weird because I feel like you should fight in these games, but I mean, really what we were doing was just maneuvering and trying to pick each other. We were both being smart, and I don't know. I got her. I don't know. That's all I can say. And I've been racking my brain actually trying to figure out how she could have done differently and what would have done it. And I honestly don't know. It was such a weird setup for both of us. So she played fantastic. It was just one of those things where I got her at the end, and oh well. I mean, but love playing Grace. I hope I don't play her again, not because I don't like her or I don't want to, but just because we seem to play every single tournament. So, in the end, Eric Trowbridge won. Big shock. Second place was actually Paul, who has convinced me, not from him saying anything, but I need to get Veil of Shadows in my army to help protect against that shooting. So good to know. Um, and then let's see here. Scott, local guy, got the Dice Heat Me Award for last place. That being said, in his defense, he didn't get to play all of his games. He had to leave for a game and then come back. So, you're missing 5, 10, 15 points. That makes a pretty big difference. But I think he had fun, which is good. Grace won Best Painted. Or excuse me, player's choice. So everybody said that she had the best looking army. Can't argue that. Hers is beautiful. And then Jack Blakemore won the best painted technical. That being said, it was John who actually painted it. So congratulations, John. I took 4th place overall, which is awesome. But more importantly, and happier to hear to announce this, I guess not really announce, but I won best sport and the Jesse Cornwall Award after my buddy Jesse, who unfortunately passed away several. I guess it's been several years now. Man, great dude, always winning best sport. Anybody who knew him loved him. I mean, I don't think anybody met Jesse and was like, I hate that guy. Everyone loved Jesse, and always sad to think about his passing, but I'm always proud whenever I get that. And I think it goes to show you again, you know what? If the dice hate you, you just be nice about it and smile and keep going. Life, there's more important stuff in life. So, but yeah, hey, great tournament. Loved it. Thank you all 5 of my opponents. I'll play all of you again. Again, it's like hopefully not Grace, but love you, Grace. You're awesome. Do be happy to play you again too. Just again, hopefully we can avoid each other in a tournament. Yeah. So hey, thanks everybody. I'm going to sign off now. This has been a long ramble, but hey, it was a lot of fun, and I'll see you later, everybody. Thank you.